where equality is just another euphemism for mediocrity, where participation is more highly valued than achievement, where just enough to get by is the new standard of excellence. There is a small minority of people who fight back against such apathy, who struggle daily to reach new heights. These brave few are the hope for the future, the bright shining light for the next generation. They are the ones who will lead us to the places we have never dreamed of, to the undiscovered country, to reach goals only a few can even begin to imagine. Unfortunately, none of those people could be here tonight, so kick back and relax. Prepare yourself for several hours of fun, friendship, fascinating conversation, and fabulous music. All those F's, that's an alliteration and kind of a radio trick. Speaking of radio, you're listening to the most popular radio station in the history of broadcast radio, at least among stations that originate from Chris's living room. It's Curious Times. Your host is a curious listener. Here she is, Chris.
Alrighty. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Curious Times. It's Holy Henya. It is December 9th, Sunday night, December the 9th. Unbelievable. The year is going to be gone in a blink. In one quick blink, it will be gone. Amy Cavanaugh is here, the world's only Heaventologist. And there isn't even any way to define. You cannot, how she's pigeonhole. You cannot pigeonhole Amy into she is a Heaventologist among a million other things. She kind of likes to toy around now and then with doing some readings, but not always. And no matter what, it's an adventure to have a discussion with Amy. So whether we're talking about metaphysical, spiritual, psychic fraud, blah blah blah, you name it. It's a fasten your seatbelts and interesting conversation with Amy. Anyway, go find Amy. She's a mermaid also. Hey, by the way, so she has a cute little Facebook link name, which is sort of Amy R, the letter R, Maid, M-A-I-D. But if you read that differently, then it's like a mermaid spelled with a Y instead of an I. Or an E, sorry. I did go to school. M-E-R-M-A-I-D. Okay, E-I-E-I-O. So, anyway, you can go to facebook.com /AMYRMAID. Amy R. Maid. Okay. Hope that y'all got that sorted out. And let's just go get Amy. It's been a long road to Tipperary. It's a long way to go. So, yes, it's been forever. I haven't talked to you, it feels like, for a long time. How the heck are you?
Yes, it has been a long time. I listen in periodically, but I'm fine. I'm fine. This is everything
is just fine. Everything is just fine. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Oh, this afternoon I went to see Bohemian Rhapsody, which was actually fabulous. It really was fascinating. I really was not a fan of Queen. And, I knew, the only thing I knew about Freddie Mercury was that, he had a large appetite for sex. That was all I really knew. But it was a fascinating story. I didn't know he was from Pakistan and came from very conservative parents. I don't know. I rarely go to the movies. And I've gone to the movies twice this fall. I went to see, in September, I went to see A Star is Born. And then now I went to see Bohemian Rhapsody. So that's two movies in less than 4 months, which is like a new record for me because there's so, going to the movies is so much freaking work.
Yeah.
One thing is you have to be on time. Another thing is they're godly expensive. But this was worked out. This was, the movie theaters that have those lounge chair lounge chair seats. But it was a really good, it was a good movie. I encourage you all to watch it if if you get the opportunity. Even if you have to pay money to see it, I would recommend it. It's very well done. Fascinating story.
Yeah, interesting. Cool.
It was it was a lot. There's a lot of things I didn't know, and then I also came away with new respect for Queen's music, and the other members of Queen, who I guess are going on tour this year. So then last Friday, so since we're on the topic of rock and roll, last Friday night, Corrine had a show on her channel, and she had Myrna channeling rock people and rock stars. And she had, she had John Lennon. Now I can't remember who it was, but at the end there was some time left. So lately I've been obsessed with Ronnie Van Zant from Leonard Skinner, because I lived in Jacksonville at that particular point in time, and Ronnie Van Zant threw up on my foot once, and Bob Burns, who was the original drummer, he was actually Keith's AA sponsor in Atlanta in the early 80s. And then I had a little stint at AA once, and Alan Collins, after he was paralyzed, was briefly a friend of mine. So anyway, it all touched my life in one way or another.
Yeah.
Over the years. And it was fascinating because I don't think that Ronnie Van Zant, he's not as well known as I have mixed feelings about mediumship in general of late. But Ronnie Van Zant is not as well known as that, like anybody could channel John Lennon, give peace a chance.
Right.
Yoko, Paul's douchebag. With Eastern, but Ronnie Van Zant is not as well, he's not as well known, and if you were going to stereotype him, you'd be like redneck, whatever. Anyway, but the stuff she picked up was kind of right on, was right on, and what was even more peculiar was her voice really changed to kind of a cadence, not necessarily the accent, but a cadence that was very similar to his. And it was very cool. It was very cool because I'm absolutely obsessed. I'm old, so I've had a lot of chapters in my life, and I've had so many chapters in my life that I forget some chapters because at the time they weren't chapters.
Yeah.
They were just like, you know what I mean? Like I didn't realize that they were going to be chapters. I just thought that they were my life. So it's interesting that particular point in time, which was from like 1975 to the early 80s, mid 80s, I kind of just forgot about it. It's just really a blur. And now this movie came out. It's on Showtime, but I think it's going to be on this country music TV or something. Anyway, something along those lines. But I get it off Showtime, because if you have Amazon Prime, you get like a 7-day trial subscription to Showtime, and I keep canceling it. I keep getting it, watching the movie like 30 times. I've watched the movie like 40 times now.
Wow.
It brings back like this whole, it was a period of time that, at the time I was like stoned a lot, so I don't remember a lot of it. But then
Yeah, I hear you.
have this movie, I don't know, it just triggers a lot of memories.
Yeah.
So I use it
Yeah.
therapeutically
Oh, sure.
to remember the 70s. But anyway,
Well, that's the thing. Hey, music and other things like that can just like instantly take you back to a place in your mind that you know, that's there, but
right.
you don't when you're not accessing it, then you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Then
there
you
was like
kind of,
nothing really, it's just so, because I guess back then, like nothing really bad, bad stuff never happened. The worst thing that happened is like some guy broke up with you or something, but nothing really bad ever happened. So, I don't know, it's just hard to remember. Nothing really memorable happened either. I mean, at the time it seemed like nothing memorable. I didn't even think Leonard Skinner was that talented back in the day. I thought they were a little bit, I was from New York and I went down to Florida. I thought they were a little bit redneck, but
right.
over, watching this in retrospect, same thing with Queen. I thought Queen was, I don't know what I thought, but they were not my cup of tea. But
a lot of those bands too, though, like now these days, like it's been a long time since we've seen them, right? And so a lot of times it's like also the visual of how they appeared or whatever that it may have impacted. I know, like with Rod Stewart, I was very turned off on Rod Stewart for all the whole time I was young, because I just thought, what a weird, yucky guy. You know what I mean?
yeah,
what a weird looking, yucky looking guy. And sorry, Rod Stewart. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. I was young, a young girl then, and like Rod Stewart was, like, if you think back to the 80s, like how was he dressing and like that kind of, like,
like him and David Bowie. Even David Bowie, my friend was so into David Bowie, and
well, but he was more okay. Like the difference between those two for me is like one was much more. Like, oh, I really got to get to know you. The other, Rod Stewart was just a dude that put on some tight leather pants and spiked his hair. You know what I mean? And like that kind of thing. Like he didn't really have much of a look, but he looked like. Whereas David Bowie, like he kind of like had this almost eerie, like
right.
It was like it was a very like captivating, whatever it was,
right.
But now, years later, like when I don't have to look at them, then I'm just listening, then it's a different response from me. You know what I mean? My opinion about their music changes because I'm not influenced by what I'm looking at versus, Because remember, too, back then everything was music videos and blah, blah, blah. That's when music videos were just getting out new. Right?
Right.
Exactly. And so anyway. And that's right, I saw David Bowie in that movie, The Labyrinth, when I was young. And that was really, like, I can't even come up with the words. It was like that. I remember it. I remember very few things about, like, I remember very few, specific things like that. But like watching that movie as a kid, like that was like it just stayed with me, if you know what I mean. I don't know how to put that. Anyway, so listen, somebody said you went to, what's this about a Washington trip?
Oh yeah, I went to Seattle for Thanksgiving to see my daughter.
Uh-huh. Awesome.
It was, yeah. So my daughter, she works at Amazon, so that was really spectacular because Amazon headquarters are like ridiculous. They have a biosphere, and they have all these, and the biosphere is just for people who work there. It's not like open to the public. And they have all these canopy walk, and they have like these conference rooms that have like lounge chairs in them, and they have like tech vending machines. Like if you need a laptop, you just go to the vending machine, and it's like another It's like another planet.
Right.
It's like her whole life is like another planet.
Yeah.
But they're very successful. So she's like getting a Tesla, and they're getting Tesla. Like Tesla has these solar panels, so you can like make your house solar, so you can go off the grid. But it's not for. I guess she's part of the elite. I don't know. And her husband, he's so funny because my politics are, who even knows what they are? But they're like very, very, very progressive. Like freaking so far to the left. I don't even know if you could go any further. And he's like running for office. I guess he's starting with fire commissioner.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah,
interesting.
But then it was also really fun because, like, we went on a friend of hers came, who was like one of her bridesmaids, and now lives in Portland and works for a marijuana company. And
wow.
She brought all these marijuana samples, so that was fun. And then we took a ferry and went over to her other friend's house for Thanksgiving dinner. And then it turned out that my friend from college lived on that very island, so I got to see her. And then we went and got some, I don't know, we just did a whole bunch of things. We got some blueberry juice and went and found oysters and went to an oyster farm and whatever. Then I came home. And then I haven't been Ubering since I got back. I just haven't. I mean, I like it once I do it, but it's like hard to do. It's hard to do. Like it's hard to, I mean, I'm not exactly the most, believe it or not, I'm not the most social person in the planet, and I'm not in my most social
phase of your life.
Of my life.
Yeah.
So
I hear you.
Even though it's like a really easy way to make money, after not doing it for like a week, it's like I've only done it one night since I got back, and it was fine. It was fine. It's just like, I don't know. It's just hard to. It's like, oh yeah, let me go cut some string. I mean, it's perfect. Like if when I'm in a financial jam.
Yeah.
And I can just go out and, oh, I'm short on this. You just go out and get the money. And I thought I would be all like motivated with the holidays and everything, but it's like, really, strangers in my car? Not so much. So, but hopefully next week I'll be a little better at it. Hopefully next week I'll be a little better. And I have a new grandson.
Wow. Oh, congratulations.
But I haven't seen him yet because I had to get shots, because that's the new thing that new mothers do to make themselves feel like they're good mothers is tell people that they can't see them unless they get shots. So then I'm not a big fan of shots. I finally got my shot, but then I asked the person, like, how long does it take? And apparently it takes 2 weeks to work.
Huh.
So there hadn't been 2 weeks yet. So here, I'm trying to find a little picture of the latest nugget. Here's a picture of the whole damn family. Hold on a minute.
That'd be something that would really cause me a problem, because I'm not like going for shots at all.
Yeah, it was quite a dilemma. But my number one, my son cannot get a divorce, no matter what. So whatever I can do to keep. Oh yeah, Christy, there's a whole bunch of people out there saying that Uber drivers don't make much money because they want to. Anyway, don't even get me started. You can make as much money or as little money as you want. If you're smart, you'll make a lot of money. You're self-employed. So if you're smart, you'll make a lot of money. If you're stupid, you won't make a lot of money. And I'm so sick of Uber drivers talking about how they're getting ripped off. Because you know what? If you're getting ripped off, don't do it. Go get a job. If you want guaranteed, if you want health insurance, if you want all those things, go get a job. This is just a gig. And for me, it works out fantastic. It's not supposed to be a job. It's supposed to be a gig. And that's where the difference is. And these people, it's funny because a whole bunch of people have become, the whole industry has grown up around Uber. Like you can rent a car for like $300 a week from some person, and then you do Uber. Well, if you're renting a car for $300 a week, of course you're not going to make any money because you're overpaying. You're overpaying for a rental car. Anyway, it is what it is. It's not a job. It's not a job.
Now that would be a way to pay for that would be a way to pay to have a car. You know what I mean?
Well, what's happening is a lot of people who have shitty credit are going and getting these people who will rent them a car, even though they don't have a credit card or any of the things you need to rent a car. But of course, it's at a premium price. So then they have to go out. So before they make a dollar, they have to pay off, the $300 car rental or however much it is. So of course they're not making any money. But
and I'm sure that the car, I don't know how the car rental company would feel if they knew that their car was being used for Uber.
Well, these people aren't car rental companies. These people are people who buy cars.
Gotcha.
And then
for this purpose.
Yeah, and they're not necessarily in good shape. It's just it's interesting how this whole thing grew up around it. Anyway, but I have to start Ubering again because I need money for the holidays and I have a couple trips planned and stuff like that. I just, if you have a choice to have strangers in your car or go home and sleep, I'll go home and sleep.
Yeah, for sure. I hear you.
So
that was it. So when are you going to see the grandbaby then?
This weekend.
Do you have to pass some kind of health test before you get admission, or do you have to bring your shot card with you to prove that?
Well, that's the whole thing. It's like I said, I don't want my son to get a divorce. So in other situations, I would just fake it. Say, oh yeah, I got my shot, or falsify some records or something like that. Yeah. In this particular situation, not because it's my grandson's health on the line, because it's my son's marriage on the line. I played by the rules. In fact, because I don't even really, you know what? I don't even really care about seeing this grandkid. You know, it's like, whatever. You know, I mean, I don't want to sound like that, but it's like she's so mean and everything. It's like, is this really worth it? You know, not so much. So, I got the shot, and then I asked the pharmacist lady, you know, how long it takes, and she goes, really, the whole thing's a scam, but, you know, technically it takes 2 weeks. So then I was like, and I was like,
wow, even the pharmacist, like, see, someone has to, you know, stop that. Like, then, like, there you go. Like, they're happy because they're making money off this if this is some new trend. You know what I mean?
oh, it must be a huge moneymaker because I also got a coupon for 20% off my groceries up to 20% off my groceries up to like a $500 grocery bill. So that would be up to $100.
$100 off.
You know, that's ridiculous. So they must be making, you know, more than $100 off the freaking shot, right?
It's terrible.
Whatever. But I guess it's funny because I told the guy I work for, the owner of my company, he's like an old hippie from California, and he's just so funny. He's Greek and he's Jewish, and he's Bohemian. So you never know. It's a total roulette wheel as to which part of him is going, you know, because their cultures are all so different.
Right.
And it's this total roulette wheel as to which aspect of his personality is going to show up. So I was telling him I hadn't seen my grandson yet because I didn't get the show. He goes, oh, yeah, my daughter-in-law wanted me to do that. I just faked it. And said I did. And I said, well, I didn't want to do that because no matter what, my son cannot get a divorce because she will just take him to the cleaner. So I'm just playing by the rules. So not only was it like, okay, I went and got the shot, but it's like, no, we have to wait 2 weeks because we have to wait for it to, we can't be taking any risks.
Right.
Fortunately, she didn't make me get the flu shot. Because the flu shot, like, people are becoming paralyzed and stuff from.
Yeah.
Let alone, I don't like shots.
Yeah.
I don't like the actual getting shot, and I don't like the last time I got the flu shot, I got sick. So,
so who's at 9? Wait, there's a caller there. Who's at 989? 989. Are you in the chat? Hi, who's that?
This is Christy. How are
you? Who are you? Never mind, how are you? Who are you? I can't remember nobody called Christy.
Oh, now I'm CJ. Happy holidays.
No, I can't remember CJ either. CJ? It sounds vaguely familiar, but anyway, teasing you. So what's going on?
So Dan's here. Dan, I was closer to, we're talking to CJ, sorry. I noticed Dan was in the thing. So, CJ, what have you started your holiday baking?
I have. I am so far ahead of the game. I don't even know what I'm going to do with myself the day before Christmas, except just chillax and think I'm having a panic attack because I'm supposed to be doing something. I found a recipe where I could make dinner rolls ahead of time, and you freeze them before you let them rise and bake. And then you just take them out of the freezer and let them defrost, and they rise when they defrost. And they're already in my freezer, so I'm like, way to go, me. And then I banged out my cheesecake for the dessert. So I went from I'm not a Grinch right now.
Huh, that's good.
That's
good. It's already going to be just what, it's the 10th? Good God, Christmas is just 15 days away. Is that right, Matt?
I know. I got a chance to go to the Nutcracker today with my family, and that is my favorite ballet.
Oh, good. Well, look at you, everything going good.
Yeah, I'm feeling festive. Why don't you wait just a week, Amy, and spend the holidays with your family instead of going this weekend?
Well, because I have to go 2 weekends in a row because next weekend what's going on next weekend? Oh, I'm going to a concert. So anyway, I have to go 2 weekends in a row. It's fine though. It's fine. I'm looking forward to the holidays being over. I'm really not, I don't know. Something always fun happens though. I mean, it's not just another day. There'll be some sort of holiday miracle. I just don't know. I just don't know what it is yet.
Yeah, you'll lose your power and your heat. And
don't say stuff like that.
That's what happened to Christy last year, right? Or your oven?
Yeah.
Yeah, the oven said piss off. I am not feeling very Christmassy right now. I'm just not doing it.
Yeah.
But you got a new oven, right? So your oven's working?
Oven's good. And yeah, up until today I was not feeling like we really needed to have a Christmas this year, and now I'm all
But then you went to the Nutcracker and now you're all over it.
Yep, I'm all over it.
Yeah.
And I even played Christmas music on the way home. So look at me
go. Holy shit. Look at you. There's your Christmas miracle right there.
Yeah, it's a Christmas miracle.
It's a Christmas miracle, and you heard it here first at Curious Time.
When is your birthday, Chris? Isn't that this month?
Yeah, it's I guess 4 or 5 more days.
I knew it was by Christmas, but I couldn't remember the number days.
Kimber's birthday is tomorrow, 10th.
Oh, so she's a December baby too.
Yeah, there's a lot of December people. I don't know I can't remember who they all down were, but Yvette Howell, she's 7 days after me on the 21st. There was a couple more. There was a few more December people kicking around. I can't remember who they all are, but anyway, yeah.
Oh, well, I wanted to ask you about the rules that you have in Canada for buying marijuana.
I don't really know what the rules are.
Oh.
Why? I guess, there's stores. I haven't been to one because I got no car and they're far away from me. And I hear that and so it's not a place I'd want to go by on foot in the winter anyway, because they only let certain number of people in the store at one time. So then you got to line up outside on the street to get in. And I wouldn't want to do that if I had to walk 10 pardon my language, sorry.
Right.
If I had to walk 10 miles or something in minus 25 degrees, I wouldn't feel like standing in line outside and all of that for another hour, But anyway,
but you can go into a dispensary. You can walk in.
You go in. You just walk into a retail store, and there you go. You just buy it.
That's what I thought.
How does it work in Michigan?
That's what I thought we had just passed, but apparently you cannot walk into the dispensaries yet. You have to find someone who will gift it to you if you want to get caught with it, or not. We can just grow our own now. Technically, we have to grow our own, so every time you inherit Midland, it's trying to say, where's the seeds? Where can I get seeds? Where can I get seeds?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's it.
It won't be hard to get. It won't be hard. You can get seeds, but you're better off if you can find somebody willing to let you take a clipping or two and then sprout that and then plant that instead of seeds.
That's not what I thought the rule was. I thought that meant I could walk into a dispensary and walk out willy-nilly.
Yeah. Well, I think they just don't have them open yet.
Well,
they probably haven't figured out all the regulations around that. But no, it's like a beer store in a way. You know what I mean? I walk in. I imagine you have to show some ID. I don't know. like to prove age or something. Christ, they ask you if all the way up to age 35, about smoking, right? If there's any doubt, then they want to see they want to at least be known that they've asked for ID, right? Because there's all these spy people out trying to catch retailers, doing bad, right? So
Right.
so now they've gone way extreme, and they like you clearly wrinkly old people, and they're like, you're 18, right? Or you're 21, right? But anyway, so no, like, and yeah, like you can. That's my predicament. I need to find either seeds or some clippings.
Right.
Yeah.
It
would be no different than taking off of any other houseplant, Corrine. Haven't you heard of doing that? You take a snip off and then you put it in a glass of water, wait for it to sprout, yes? Right? You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Right. You can buy the sprouts or whatever they're called.
But I mean, you just go like to somebody who has a plant and take a couple clippings and away you go.
I had an acquaintance that was selling them for $10 a pop for the cuttings or whatever.
For the what?
The cuttings, I guess. I think they're called clippings.
Yeah. Yeah, they probably call them clones. But I mean, if someone's selling me a clone, it better already be in dirt and everything. You know what I mean?
Well, I just don't. I just don't know how to grow my own, and I thought I could just walk in willy-nilly to a dispensary, but that doesn't go into effect until next year. Right now, the medical marijuana cards are still being used for the dispensary. And
right now, I wouldn't even want to go into the damn store anyway for what I hear that they're charging. Like, here, let me see if I can find this Edmonton pot prices. Whoever thought you could look such a thing up on the freaking internet, Comparison shopping in Edmonton, the temporary pot capital of Alberta. The pot capital, that's funny. Of Canada, the temporary pot capital of Canada. Somehow the city rang in October 17th with more legal pot shops than any of its Canadian counterparts.
Wow.
We paid them, and these guys paid them all a visit. So let's see, scraps of notebook paper sat in a row on the central counter at Edmonton's Pneumo Cannabis, each marked with a waiting customer's bud order. It seemed an odd relic from the last time Prohibition ended alcohol 9 decades ago, though it's only because of the 2018 era state-of-the-art order system crapped out on day one. The clerk's tablets weren't connected to the backroom product vault and registers when the store opened, so an employee rushed to the dollar store for notepads and pens. And the glass for all the wall display cases, which contractors weren't ready to install until the momentous morning of October 17th, they didn't fit on the cabinets. Those shelves lay barren, and product samples were instead stuffed onto shelves within the main counter beneath the makeshift note-taking order system. Pneumo managers predicted each customer would take 10 minutes to file through the store. Those who spent around an hour inside after an interminable wait to reach the door were among the lucky ones. So let's see, the multi-hour lineups, 4 or longer. 4 hours or longer, people were standing outside of these stores on the day that it went legal. Wow. Can you imagine? No. So anyway, they visited all 6. Blah blah blah. I want to get to where the price. Talk to me about the price. More than 700 private stores, blah, blah, blah. I want to know the price. Okay, I actually Googled, give me the freaking price. And they didn't get that. How much for weed? Here's the question. Here's an article. How much for weed? Okay, so, soon be able to, let's see, would you have a simple price comparator? It was way much when I looked up before. Okay, here. Black market prices have been trending downwards in recent years, according to Stats Canada. In Alberta, prices in 2017 averaged around $7.67 a gram. So hang on. Clear. $7.67 times 7 is, so that would be like $53 for a quarter ounce. You know what I mean? And then multiply that by 4 for an ounce is $214. Okay. So check this out though. Okay. So we should go, okay now. I want to know what they're charging now, guys, please. About $10 a gram. They're trying, like, I think that these places were like $12, $13 a gram, 10, something like that. Here, $10 to $12 a gram.
Mm-hmm.
That's too much. That's way too much. You know what I mean? Like, that's like $70 for a quarter ounce. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
That's what it's showing here in Michigan right now. The closest one I can find is Davison, and I think this is a typo because it says $2.50 an ounce.
$2.50 an ounce?
That can't be right, right?
Yeah,
well,
that is right. That is right. It's like,
yeah.
that's exactly, because it's like,
but back in the day,
grams.
in fairness, back in the day, I paid $300 an ounce. And then even way back when I had quit smoking pot, many years ago, I was like paying the lowest I would ever be able to pay for a quarter pound. So that's 4 ounces, right? Was the lowest ever I could get it for was $800, but mostly I was paying $1,100 for a pound, for a quarter pound. And so that's like $1,200. You may as well say that that's $300 an ounce, you know. And so if you can get it for $200 and something now, then that's still better than then.
Okay.
I think it's going to be cheaper in Michigan because since you can grow your own, they're going to have a little bit of competition, so it'll be a little less expensive. But I know in Colorado, I got gummies, but one third of the price was tax. So it was like a $30 sale.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it was really a 50% tax because it was the $20 product that ended up costing $30 because the tax on it was 50%. So that's the good thing about the Michigan laws. It lets you grow your own.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that many other, I guess the Canada law, like I know Colorado and Washington, they don't let you grow your own.
Mm-hmm. Or they would, some places that do limit it. As far as I know in Alberta, you could grow as many as you want, but I would only limit myself to 4 before I would check into that, right? But, because I know for sure 4. I think the rule is you're not allowed to have it in view anywhere, like plant growing in the windows or something, I guess, or outside. It doesn't look like I would be allowed to grow it outside.
Really?
Because kids could come across it, I guess, is the reason. Hey, like that.
Yeah.
I guess the whole idea was to make it harder for kids, which is ridiculous. You know what I mean? Whatever they had to use to legalize it is fine by me because it needed to be legalized many years ago. You know, but the notion that passing this law will make it easier to make it harder for kids to get is ridiculous. If they can get it illegally now, they'll continue to get it illegally from the same damn people, you know.
Right.
And so, but whatever they had to say to get it through is fine by me. You know what I mean? It's something that needed to be done, But so those would be the things, is like you have restrictions around, like I guess if you don't own your own home, like if you're a renter, then theoretically, I guess, without the permission of the owner, it's illegal for you to smoke pot in your apartment. You know what I mean? But if you own it, then it's not illegal. You know, then you can smoke. But as far as I understand the law, I would be able to go and light up a joint and walk down the street with it and smoke it.
Oh, we can't do that, Michelle.
The thing that we have to, if I understand it correctly, I'm allowed to smoke it anywhere I'm allowed to smoke a cigarette. And so I'm prevented from smoking a cigarette within a certain number of feet of the entrance of a building. Also, they're restricting you from you're not allowed to go sit at the park where kids are playing and smoke weed. You know what I mean? But other than that, like, I believe that I would be allowed to walk down the street smoking a joint if I wanted to, just like if I was walking down the street smoking a cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it's interesting what's happening in the. Oh, go ahead, Kristen.
No, that's just the first part of passing this year. I think next year we'll be allowed to go into dispensaries, and I think next year, maybe we will be able to actually be outside of we won't just have to stay in our home and smoke it. We'll be able to be within, like, as long as we stay like 30 feet away from whatever, we should be able to go outside, especially to a park if we're by ourselves and not get in trouble.
Right.
But no, that
I think if you're like late at night in a park and there's no kids around, probably, you know what I mean. But they might have to actually say no smoking and pot. You know, like, let's say I wouldn't be able to go to some festival where it's outdoor, whatever. I don't think you're allowed to smoke in those anyway. If I go to an outdoor event like a football game anyway, I can't smoke, right? And so. Right. Now, the interesting thing is if at a football game, I don't know if they have smoking areas anymore, like at these stadiums or what. I don't know. I don't know if you have to leave the building or what you have to do, but wherever you could go have a smoke if you were watching a football game, you'd be able to go smoke a joint there too, I would think. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't paid too much attention. And then no smoking in a car, because even the because the secondhand, like, they will get high off of the smoke in the car, right? Whoever else is in the car with you. And if you're the driver, then you definitely shouldn't be smoking, but nobody should be smoking in a car, because even if the driver is not engaging in that, they're still getting the secondhand. They would still test positive for THC breathing that same air, right?
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, so no smoking. I mean, I don't think they allow, in some places, they don't even allow smoking in vehicles. Well, for sure if you have kids in the vehicle, right?
Right.
And so it's kind of all over the map, really. I think in your country, is that the kind of thing that's legislated by the city level or the state level, like where the smoking area is? And so that each city doesn't have its own right to establish non-smoking laws.
Oh, yeah, the cities do have higher laws than the state, because each college is different with their rules with respect to smoking, and so the city would preempt the state.
Yeah, so whatever it's kind of all over the map, I think. So really, but anyway, I would say that you'd be
anyway. You're gonna have to fly on and find a grower and see if they can't sell you a couple seeds.
Yeah, I had to find some seeds. That's really what I have to do. And I had a whole bunch of old seeds, but they're dead.
Right.
There's nothing working there, And so, anyway, I guess my idea on this is, like, even when I was a smoker, I tried to be a polite smoker. Like, I wouldn't even smoke in my own vehicle if I had a non-smoker with me. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. And so I think if people respect other people's error and everything with this, then it should be really no big deal. Really? You know what I mean? And hopefully they never... I just pray that some other government doesn't get in and just undo that law then, you know?
So, Amy, you're going to Kentucky next weekend, but what are you doing for Christmas then?
Going to Kentucky.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
Do you remember the name of the shot that you said that you had to get?
What?
Do you remember the name of the shot?
How it's for whooping cough.
Oh, okay. I remember hearing about that a couple years ago. I remember something about that on the news.
Why? Because they say that everybody's a carrier of it, even if they're not affected by it?
Yep.
What's the logic to that? Is that what it is?
Let's see.
I think we're automatically a carrier because we were exposed to it as kids.
I think that infants, let's see. Are you back still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, it didn't sound like it. It sounded like it had gone dead. Okay. When babies can catch whooping cough, I guess infants can like die from it.
Mm-hmm. No, but I mean, is it that everybody's a carrier, or what? Like what I'm trying to understand is, where's the logic to this? That if you're not having any symptoms of it, why would you have? Like, why would you? You know what I'm saying?
Because I figured out that honestly, it's a way to make money. It's a way to make money. I can't even. I can't even
justify it using any argument.
It. But like I said, I don't want my son to get. There's very few things I would get a shot for, but I would get a shot. I got a shot against my son getting a divorce, not against.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, Can I get immunized against my son's divorce? Can I divorce immunity shot, please? That's funny. Oh,
because I mean, honestly, like, did she make everybody at the grocery store get a frickin' whooping cough shot?
Right.
You know.
Right.
Oh, that's a good point.
You know, whatever. I don't want to go.
And is every single hospital staff member shot against whooping cough?
Who knows? You know, who knows? Who knows? But like I said, it really was. It's just, I mean, and I know it must be. I know my insurance covered 100%, so I didn't have to pay anything. But I also know if they're giving me a coupon that could be worth up to $100.
Yeah.
They must have gotten a pretty penny for that frickin' shot.
Yeah. Well, enjoy your free groceries, I guess.
Well, I don't
you actually make money out of that deal then, right? Because the shot didn't cost you anything, and now you get $100 off your groceries.
But I would have to buy them. I don't grocery shop.
Yeah. But, I mean, you could pick an event like Christmas if you're going over to somewhere and just load up on a shitload of stuff and get a good discount, right? You would bring stuff anyway, wouldn't you?
Exactly. I'll make it work. When God hands you lemons, you turn it into
lemonade.
I'm trying to see. Whooping cough, vaccine cost. Let's see. Vaccine costs are soaring. What a surprise. Hold on here.
Please stand by. Here, let me do a song. Okay.
David Bowie.
You what? David Bowie?
We've been talking about him.
Okay. All right. Here we go. We'll go with, let's go with this one.
Didn't know what time it was, the lights were low, oh, oh. I leaned back on my radio, oh, oh. Some cat was laying down some rock and roll like a story said. Then the loud sound that seemed to fade came back like a slow voice on a wave of fate. That wasn't no DJ, that was hate. Because me time. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he's so our mind. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He's told us not to blow it, 'cause he knows it's always while he's over. Let the children do dance. Let the children use that. Let all the children do get. Phone someone for a pick on you. Oh, oh, hey, that's far out. So you heard him too. Oh, oh, switch on the TV. We may pick him up on channel 2. Look out your window, I can see his light. If he can sparkle, he may land tonight. Don't tell your papa, or he'll get us locked up inside. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he's so our mind. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He's told us not to blow it, 'cause he knows it's always while he's over. Let the children lose it. Let the children use it. Let all the children boogie. Starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he's so our mind. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He's told us not to blow it, 'cause he knows it's always while he's over. Let the children lose it. Let the children use it. Let all the children boogie.
Alrighty then. Welcome back. We are back. Toys for Tots and all the Christmas stuff going crazy now. Yep. So we're back. Did you find anything out? You were looking up the. Oh.
Yeah, I couldn't really find it. They're well over $100.
Over 100, yeah, over $100. Jeez, hey. But that would be your cost. Like their cost is probably cheap. You know what I mean? Like let's say I'm a pharmacist, I can buy it in for cheap, and then I sell it for 100, right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, they must be cheap. They must be able to, right, because the grocery store, which is the pharmacy, is the one that's giving the discount. So, giving the coupon. So, they must be making some good money.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so Corinne has had 25 kids since we last spoke to her.
25 what?
Corinne has 25 kids. She's like the old lady who lives in the
for
oh
her.
My God!
And 2 families, and I was curious, how did she get them all the presents before Christmas? Because they're not probably in her backyard.
She's a crazy busy woman, I guess. She's a crazy busy woman. With one, if she can do one thing, because she probably ships most of it, right? And she's the shipping queen.
I don't know, or did she just send money?
She's the shipping queen.
Are they all getting purple plates? Do they have purple plates?
Yeah, everything has a purple plate sewn into it.
All I want for Christmas is a purple plate.
Oh,
you know what I would love a picture of? I would love a picture of you with all of your pretty presents wrapped with one big picture, because that's you know how to wrap presents. I don't. She sent me something in the mail, and it was so precious. It was like a Hallmark container with ribbons and matching bows and matching labels. I'm like, who does that shit? Not me.
Yeah.
They get a bag from the dollar store.
Yeah.
So what else? So are you going to have the holiday show?
Possibly.
Do we get to play Hangman?
Holiday Hangman?
I'm really good at Hangman.
We could do a holiday Hangman. Yeah, we'll probably do something. It may not be as long as it's ever, because of course attendance has really dwindled, and so it's fine. You know what I mean? We can do a much shorter deal, but have something casual, not recorded. Just be like the Christmas flop house or something for a while.
Right, with Christmas songs and Christmas memories and anyway. So who do you have on the show this week, Chris?
I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know. Tell me.
Who do I have scheduled?
Yeah, who do you have scheduled?
Well, we have Aaliyah Dawn tomorrow, Melissa Bruce Tuesday, Kathleen Moore Wednesday, Day Off Thursday, Selva Friday, Kimber Saturday, Nick Sunday, Diana Monroe Monday. So we're supposed to have lots of shows.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. We were supposed to have lots of shows last week too.
Mm-hmm.
So I had lost. Well, I lost. Lisa's gone for the rest of the month. So the Tuesdays are now open until the end of the month.
She's
which isn't long anyway. She's busy too. I think possibly moving and stuff like that. So, that's the schedule anyway. We'll see what happens, because anything crazy happens during this time of the year anyway,
Yeah,
so
it's a time of miracles, holiday miracles.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, what else can we talk about?
Dan left. Dan left us without a word. He didn't say, did Dan even say good night? Oh, he did.
Oh.
Dan left us.
It's legal where he lives, right?
It's yes. At least it's yes.
Complicated. It's not optimal.
I'll have to hit
Because
him.
No, he can't be with it because he. Oh, you mean like clippings or something? Because he's a driver, so he can't engage in it at all. Like he's subject to random tests.
And I think he has a federal contract, like federal contract. Yeah, it's very complicated. It's not very well run in Washington.
But he's the guy that like I was telling my story that I found a couple of winters ago or something. I was struggling with my shopping cart through the really bad parking lot, and because it was a terrible snow and they hadn't had time to clear it. And the light was bouncing off something, and I'm all, because it was dark, and I'm all, what's that? And so somebody dropped, a bag of, just Uncle Ben's heat up in the microwave rice dish, you know what I mean? And so I find this, and so I'm all, look what I found. I find this, of all the things I could find in the parking lot, I got to find a rice in a bag, you know what I mean? And so anyways, like within a couple of days of that, Dan's like, well, guess what I found in the parking lot? Oh, no, that night I said, why can't I find a bag of pot on the ground in the parking lot? I got to find a bag of rice, right? So anyway, within a couple of days, he's all, guess what I found in the parking lot? I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. So, yeah. Because it comes in all like packaged, like retail kind of thing, you know what I mean? And, so yeah, anyway. I guess he has, I don't know if he's working or working nights or if we were that boring or what. Probably we were that boring.
It's going to be our chick show. It's our chick show. We don't have to have boys tonight.
Yeah.
I'm going to see the Christmas Carol next Saturday, too. My grandma got tickets for that.
Wow.
So I have my festivities right now are flowing over. If anybody needs to feel festive, just call me.
Very nice. Very nice. I don't ever feel the need to feel festive. I mean, I don't go out of my way to be bah humbug, but I don't feel a burning need to be festive.
I kind of have to suck it up because I have to be around my nieces and nephews for the holidays, and I'm at grandma's house, so for at least one night I gotta be, oh, it's Christmas, you made it, yay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Corrine says she's unmuted.
Well, if she's unmuted, why isn't she talking?
I don't know.
And if she is talking, then, well, but if she's unmuted, then she's, you know what I mean? If you're unmuted and you're talking, then we have a problem, Houston. No, she's not. She doesn't know how to unmute herself.
Can you hear me now?
No. Yeah, don't press 1. You don't press 1, you press 1.
Oh, I thought you pressed 1.
I can hear
1 just. No, it's 1. You press 1 to unmute and 1 to mute, and you press 1 to tell the host that you want to come in. But I didn't hear nothing. I had to, and I wasn't looking at the thing. It would show me an alert by your name if I was looking. But right now you're at the bottom, and so when my chat list is at the top, all the people that are here that are below what I can see, I can't see, right? And you're down there with right where mine is. But anyway, what's going on?
What's going on? Well, we had an exciting night last Friday. I don't know if Amy wants to talk about it, but it was
She already did. She already did. No, that's okay.
I didn't hear it. I was late. I was like 15 minutes late.
Oh, that's okay.
But did she tell you about Janice Joplin?
No. Hey, we're getting feedback, though. It's a problem.
I did it. I fixed it.
Okay. All right.
I can turn it up.
Okay. So what, so no, she didn't say nothing about Janis Joplin.
Okay. So, you want to hear this story? Because it's a freaking bombshell and it's incredible.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so Janis Joplin comes on, and it's funny when Myrna is channeling these people or whatever you want to call it, because she sounds like the person it is. You know what I mean? Like, she comes on, and she's like, hey, everybody. Like, that's exactly what Janice would have said anyways. So, anyway, so we're talking, and then Janice happens to mention that she came back after, I said, wait a minute, you came back after you died in 1970? She goes, yeah, and almost the exact same thing happened as what happened when I was Janice. And I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell? I said, do we know who you were? And she goes, well, I certainly hope so. And I'm like, okay, what was your name? And I knew what she was gonna fucking say. I just knew it.
We're recording, hey?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Just so you know, just saying. I made a mistake too earlier, so just so you do know we're recording.
Okay, sorry about that. So I can't help exclaiming because it was just incredible. So I said, well, what was your name? And she said, my name was Amy. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. And I said, you're talking about Amy Winehouse, who also died at 27 years old. And she goes, yeah, and the same thing happened. I couldn't, I said, well, is it possible to live all these lifetimes and always be lonely and be like, but anyways, that was a bombshell. That was incredible. You know what I mean? Oh my God, it's so cool. So you can hear me exclaiming on the show, and I was like, it was just unbelievable, you know. So that's a good part in my book when the book comes out, because all these people are going to be in the book, and I'm so excited about it, you know.
Oh yeah, good. Mm-hmm. Excellent.
Yeah, I'm psyched. So I said to Renee the other day when I was talking to her, I said, so Renee, I mean, what, these people that don't believe Myrna, because I've seen people contact Einstein and Tesla and blah, blah, blah. So why wouldn't you be able to contact these stars? I said, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, you just have to have that kind of a really excellent medium to make the connection. And the thing is, when I put the book out, I mean, obviously, there's about 50% of non-believers. But I didn't really give a crap because I'm going to put it out anyways, and we'll see what happens, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, good. I didn't know. So before last time I talked to you, you were trying to get some building or home or house
my
or
God.
something.
Yeah, sorry. So here's what happened. I just looked it up because I've been waiting for this other mortgage guy to come back to me and say that they're only going to look at my bank statements instead of looking at how much taxes I pay. So while I'm waiting for him, I went and looked up that huge mansion, the 10,000 square foot mansion. It's sold on November 1st for $315,000. I was so disappointed.
Wow.
Oh my God. So disappointed. Bless you. That house was just absolutely incredible. Just incredible.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Bummer.
I guess it wasn't meant to be, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
It would have been a tough go. You know what I mean? I mean, not to say it wouldn't have been worth it, you know, but not now. You can look at the bright side and say, oh, it would have been it would have been a hard go, because I think it would have been, right?
Well, maybe
it's not. Well, I mean, to pay for the damn thing. I'm just saying, if you were going to rent it, then you always got to be on, like, making sure you got good rent. You know, it's not no easy job of being a renter. You know, I mean, landlord.
True. Yeah.
Chasing people for money, or they've damaged something, or else they want something. They want you to spend more money on something, right?
Yeah, totally. So, in other news, so I put on Facebook the other day, I want to start a new edition of the dating game. And I said, I'll be the host. So anyways, Vicki Johns comes on and she's like, Corrine, I know the perfect guest for you. So you got to go look at this guy. His name is Scott Collins, and he's a medical medium. So I went and looked at his picture because he's really cute and he's looking for somebody, right? And I'm like, oh. So I go and look at him, and it turns out, I didn't remember this at first, but it turns out that he had actually given me a reading when I was at a show he was at before. But he's from New Zealand, you know, which is probably why I had a dream about Dorothy last night. But anyway, so so anyway, the guy is really cute, but I have to, you know, but I do want to do this dating game. So I got a lot of girls, but I got no guys that I want to do. I got like 2 guys. I need more guys than that, you know. So unfortunately, I don't know any single guys that would. Well, no single guys I'd want to come on.
Well, these are for dates. These are for dates, not for sex, right? So I don't mind dating. I don't mind dating women. I'm not.
Sure.
I'm not going to have sex with women, but I'll date women, so that'll be okay.
That's a good point, Amy.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. That is funny. Funny stuff. Yeah, so why do we have dead air?
I walked away.
Oh, okay. It's like,
Your
don't mind us.
Your guest is nodding off, so I was taking advantage of Corrine's burst of energy.
And then she walks away. So you guys will keep in mind that we're like recording live.
Yeah, but I forgot about the Janis Joplin, Amy Winehouse thing. That was really pretty interesting. It made a bunch of sense, you know. And what was really interesting is Janis Joplin. She dated Bill Bennett. I don't know if you know who Bill Bennett is, but he's like an ultra conservative. He was like Secretary of Education, I think, under either Reagan or Bush or somebody. He's like super califragilistic conservative. So that must have been an interesting date. I wanted to ask her about that, but we had so many other things to talk about that we didn't have time.
Right, Amy, that would have been a good question. I didn't realize that's what you were talking about because I didn't know who Bill Bennett was, and I didn't know you were directing it at Janis. But that would have been a good question. And as I told Amy, when we were talking to Lennon, I said, do you see Harry over there? And without skipping a beat, Myrna says, oh yes, Harry N, of course. Now, do you know who Harry is in Lennon's life? Anyone here?
You're kind of muffled. I don't exactly hear everything you're saying clearly.
Oh, shit.
Lennon?
Lennon, yeah. Do you know any Harry in John Lennon's life?
Who?
Harry?
Yeah, Harry.
No, I don't pay close enough attention to.
Right. But my point is this. Yeah, my point is this, that without skipping a beat, Myrna's like, oh yes, Harry N, of course. Harry N is Harry Nilsson. He was very good friends with Harry Nilsson. Now, as if Myrna, if she's making up shit, as if she's got not even 1 second to go look up who Lennon was friends with, whose name was Harry, okay? So, I mean, it just irks me when people are in disbelief or don't believe her. They think she's full of shit. I mean, it just irks the crap out of me. You know that, but anyway.
Well, if you're saying that for my benefit, I've never said that. I've just simply said she's never read me, so I have nothing to compare it to. You know what I mean? So if you're saying that because of me, then there's no need. You know what I mean?
No, I'm not addressing you when I say that.
Yeah. I didn't realize she has does she have a big bunch of people that don't believe her? Is that what you're saying?
Think about the people that listen to my show. Think about, I mean, I don't have a huge audience at all, but a lot of them have been doubters. And, you know, even my roommate doesn't believe it. And it fucking pisses, I'm sorry. It makes me mad, you know?
Yeah. I think, you need to look at why it bothers you what anyone else believes or disbelieves. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like when I said to you about, like, I don't care whether anyone believes whether there's life after death or not. Like, I've had my own personal experiences, and I'm comfortable with all of what I believe in based on my own personal first-hand experiences. Whether someone else believes it or not doesn't matter to me. It doesn't bother me in the least. You know what I mean? And, like, people got to get there on their own, right?
Yeah, I know, Chris, but do you see how much, and I'm coming from my point of view, is that I would never have healed so quickly from the death of my friends and my parents if it hadn't been for that. And I think that they're discounting, when they don't believe, they're discounting how much easier it might be to lose a loved one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But even then, right, like, it's not, there's a thing in the Indian, like in the native culture, which is to say, like, you can give advice or say your opinion, but you don't want to ever worry about the path someone else is taking. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to, because you believe that their path will unfold as it's meant to unfold for them. It doesn't mean, like, that you don't tell them look both ways before you cross the street or something. You know what I mean? But whether they choose to or not can't be your constant worry now, right?
No. Right.
It's going to slip my mind, so I have to ask you a question. My niece, this guy that she's been dating for quite a while, his older brother died a month ago because I guess they were in a car accident. Anyway, a month later to the date, this was just last week, the father died of a heart attack, and he was only 39 years old. And then a week later, the boyfriend broke up with my niece because he's got his own drama going on. But it made me think of generational curses and generational karma. And I was wondering if we could have that as a subject one of these nights.
Haven't we already?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, generational, yeah.
Yeah, maybe when someone's on here that would be willing to talk about it more with me. I'm really curious now. I'm more curious about generational curses or generational karma.
I put that into the same category as generational hexes and curses and all of that, right? Like I want you, like I'd like you to think about it this way. If you buy into the idea that you have not only your own karma, and in that way, most people aren't using that as a good in a good way, right? When they're using the word karma, right? It means something bad's going to happen to you because you were bad some other time, or someone else in your family was bad some other time, and so now you're all going to suffer for it, right? That's the general idea. And so I have to reject that, and here's why. I come here with my life plan, you know what I mean? And every single interaction and thing that I do, for the good and or the bad, is necessary for someone else's story to unfold as well, right? And so, if we want to inject a God or something, like, I don't think we have to, but let's pretend that, like, I went and I got my life path stamped by God himself. Yes, I got approval for this life. You know what I mean? Whatever, okay? But my idea is that if you buy into the idea of like when you die, then you go through the period of, I don't know why the word's not coming to me, but that you go through a period of time where you life review. You've heard of that expression, life review? Right. So now you're forced to look at all the good and all the bad in your life and how it affected everybody that you interacted with, kind of thing, right? And during that process, it's either a more pleasant time or it's a more sad time, because you're either watching yourself be really good or you're watching yourself be really bad. But most people have mostly good and maybe a little bad. You know what I mean? But my idea is that once you've gone through that process, you've crossed over. You know what I mean? This life is done. It's done. There's nothing to atone for. I mean, if you ascribe to an idea of a blueprint or a life path or something like this, you know what I mean? If you subscribe to the idea of a soul contract, so that I've agreed with you before we all came here, we all have agreements with each other, whatever the deal is, okay? Then I say to you that then each of us is fulfilling our contract. We're doing what we said we would do. So when we die, we're done. There's no further punishment. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing. So I think that people that buy into an idea of a generational karma, so that theoretically, because of things that your family did before you were even, 16 generations ago, you now bear the brunt of something there. I don't know. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
I actually am a firm believer in generational carryover. I don't want to necessarily say curses, because we seem to focus on just the bad stuff and not the good. But we have cells in our body. From what I understand, we have cells in our body from like 7 generations ago. And whether that's exact or just metaphoric, I just feel that because we're made from the same, because we're made from each other, that some of that stuff is going to carry over. And I don't think it's quite I kind of agree with Chris that it's not quite as because we never hear it spoken about. We always hear about generational curses, breaking generational curses, never positive, if something's good going on, like you've had 7 generations of billionaires, no one's ever let's break this curse of being rich. But I believe that we carry memories. Even the Bible talks about it when they talk about it negatively, the sins of the father. So I believe that there's something there, but I believe, like everything, when we start talking about it, we just trivialize it to the point that it doesn't even remotely resemble reality. So, like, I agree with Chris that this idea of generational curse, like I say that our family has a financial curse because it seems to make bad decisions about money and day late, dollar short, could have bought land that's worth $10 million, whatever, coulda, shoulda, woulda kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't necessarily believe in curses, but I do believe that we carry the cellular memory of our forefathers, so that we're good and for bad.
And again, like, seeing the challenge that I have is, again, because my big problem in this community is I try to approach things perhaps too logically, right? But if we believe in, I think that you could believe in one or the other. So, and here's what I mean by that, is reincarnation. If you believe in reincarnation, then you have a challenge before you in terms of the cellular memory thing. You know what I mean? I know biologically you're carrying the genes of those people, but let's say your great-great-great-great-grandfather, you were a Chinese kid alive at the same time that your great-great-great-great-grandfather was alive. You know what I mean? And in some other life of yours, and now you're just the child of that great-great-great-great-grandfather. You were even alive at the same time and not related. And so there's a soul relation, and then there's a biological relation. That's why I go, like, with genealogy, tracing back, like, it would be fascinating if you could find a case where you could track back in someone's family. This guy got murdered, but he got murdered by you when you were in another lifetime. You know what I'm saying? You were in another lifetime and you were the killer of that guy, right? That you're now related to way down the line genealogically, if that's a word. So the genealogy of it all, like, to me, is like, I could have been alive at the time that my great-great-grandfather was alive. Or, maybe a great-great-great or whatever. You know what I mean? I could have been alive in another, some African king or something like that. You know what I mean? So I wasn't related at all to that guy. Now I do carry some genes that are there. So I guess I'm challenged with it.
Yeah, that's even more confusing to think that, reincarnation is going to be pulled into this theory. And I don't like the word curse either. The generational, I'm going to, say, generational curses are habits, let's say, generational habits that are negative, that keep occurring again and again and again, through all these people. And if you take into consider reincarnation, then that's more confusing.
Yeah. No, and I'm not saying, like, I think that it's easier to believe the whole cellular memory part, the cellular memory part link, if you're, because we look at ourselves as, like, physical and spiritual, right? And when we're talking about the metaphysical, we're generally talking about our soul or our spirit or whatever, right? Not our physical body, correct? And so, while my physical body may be related to that guy, I might have been his drinking buddy at that time, my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandpa. You know what I mean? I might have been, you know what I'm saying, anybody at that time. I might have been walking on this earth at the same time, not related in any way. And so for my health issues, I need to pay attention to the biology, correct? Because I've inherited certain genes, yes? But on a spiritual or a soul level, I got nothing to do with those people's past lives. I could have been alive at the same time as them, right? And so there's where it breaks down for me.
Yeah, I hear that. But I also kind of agree with Amy about the whole DNA stuff and all that. I don't know. It's I don't know. It's
See,
really,
DNA is biological matter, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm all on board with that. I agree. You know what I mean? So therefore, this is how come I inherit that little twitch when I walk, or that little gesture, or whatever it is that I am inheriting from the family line, right? But spiritually, on the soul level, like I know that people talk about, oh, we're all recycled, same soul family. I don't know about that, you know? And it could be, maybe we also come and go out of our spirit friends' lives. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe we traveled with them in their circle for a while, but then we decided we wanted to go travel with the clan that was going to China, you know, or whatever. Because, like, how many times do I want to keep going to the Kentucky Derby or whatever, you know? Like, I want to go to the Champs-Élysées, you know? And I'm never going to do it with this soul group, right? Because we're all going to always be over here recycling ourselves. And so I like to think that on that bigger level, if we believe in reincarnation, and I know that, and I can't be sure about it myself. I can only feel like yeah, I guess it makes sense that we come back and we get into a new car. You know, we take a new vehicle. It's only the vehicle. The body is just a vehicle for the soul, right?
Mhm.
And it's only for a specific purpose. It's like if I get to a new town and I rent a car from the airport. It's a thing for me that will allow me to get around in that town while I'm there. And the body is what allows our soul to get around in this world while we're here, in this life. And it could be take to the bone crush yard. You know what I'm saying? Like what happens to the body afterwards is of no consequence. Just like a rusting old car. To me, you know?
But I also believe that Janis Joplin is going to have to keep getting reincarnated again and again until she learns from her previous mistakes.
No. That's my point. I mean, like, I'm okay with you believing that, but ties in with what I said earlier, which is that, like, if Janis Joplin came to be a musician, and for this purpose, same with Michael Jackson, and there was lessons all the way around to be learned from him, you know what I mean, and how he lived and died, but those were served, you know what I mean? It's like when I say about someone who commits suicide, to me, they've done nothing, you know what I mean, that's spiritually or on a soul level wrong. And in fact, I feel that they came with that written into their blueprint. You know? And so, like, as I say, I use the example always of my parents who were not very good to me and who we have nothing to do with each other for some, I don't know, good God, it's almost going to get to be... It's going to be like almost 40 years at some point here pretty soon, you know? And now while I can't get along with them here, I'm okay and entirely okay with the idea. I don't mind if they're enjoying a great life, or none of that bothers me at all. And I look forward to, if we do meet over on the other side once we're all gone, I think it's going to be just a simple question of, hey, like if we all fulfilled our contract to each other.
Well,
you know? How can I
would
find wrong? I can't find wrong with that.
I would disagree with that because, like Janice said, and like I've read and learned, well, all right, from my point of view, it's easier to correct those things on Earth than it is on the other side. So, I mean, you know, you could do whatever you want, Chris. I mean, obviously you are doing whatever you want, but I mean, I think you kind of got to, you know, I mean, why wouldn't you want to fix it now instead of waiting till later? You know what I mean?
What do you mean fixing? What do you mean fixing?
I mean coming to terms with who they are and then telling them, look, I have forgiven you for what you've done, you know?
Oh, because I really feel like this was really the way it was meant to be. You're talking about me and my parents?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, it wouldn't be like, the whole choice of it wasn't mine to begin with. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I did walk away, but then I left the door open and I tried to go back and have an adult relationship with them, and really, you know, the things of me getting pregnant and this other problem that arose was and it's completely hostile on my mother's end, completely hostile. And so there is no, like, I knew 30 years ago there was never going to be any give in her, and that would be that. It was just done, you know? And so it's like, and I'm okay with that, because I still firmly believe that we all did what we said we were going to do. I remember when I was a very young child being consciously saying to myself, these are not my people. I'm just here until I'm old enough to go. These are not my people.
Right.
I was really young when I knew that. Right.
So you're saying that you did try, Chris. You did try to make amends, but it just didn't. They didn't.
Like, number one, I had no amends to make. You know what I mean? I was always willing to leave the door open in forgiveness for them.
Right.
And so even when I did go back and try to have an adult relationship with them after I initially left and cut off contact and that, I left that open. I went back, tried to have this, you know, thing, and it was a ridiculous situation. You know what I mean? And, you know, I mean, like, I went into labor in her house, and she called a friend of mine to come and get me.
Oh, wow.
Instead of her taking me to the hospital.
Wow.
And so then, since I was at her house when this all started, then my car was there. So when I got discharged from the hospital, I had to go get my car, and there I was in the bottom porch to get my keys and everything, and getting a lecture about, you know, how my father's parents were never, or grandmother can never know about this, and what a humiliating, horrible thing that I've had a baby, and all that. You know, I had to have all that, like, going on. So that didn't go good, and then the whole thing about that whole thing about the sexual abuse and stuff came out maybe a year or year and a half later or something like that. That was going to be the end of that. You know what I mean? And so and I would have been fine never having that come out, and I was very forgiving. I kept going back to try to forgive and have a relationship with these parents that did so much harm to me, because they were my parents, you know. But there came a point, and then there came a point on at least my mother's end, that was ridiculously, bitterly hostile. Even years later, I would run into somebody and she was still smack-talking me bad.
Right,
You know?
right. Yeah.
So,
yeah. I
like,
didn't realize all that.
like, people have to have, like, you have to understand, like, I come to my opinion about, like, these people that feel it's such a chore to go visit their people at Christmas. Like, you know what? If it's unhealthy, it's not good, and it's always bad, don't go. Do not go out of some sense of obligation because they're your family and you have to. All you're doing is you're permitting people to continue to abuse you, even if that's just emotionally. Why do you have to continue to allow family members to do that to you just because they're family? It's ridiculous.
I agree. Yeah.
So it's hard for somebody who comes from a family of great love and strong connection and all of that. You know, I appreciate that it's harder to understand, you know, somebody on the other end of the spectrum. You know what I mean? Because after all, they're your parents, and you should be able to, and it's more important, and you should be the bigger person, like all of that, right? I get that. I get why people think that. But who's going to keep doing that to keep getting a door slammed in their face? Nobody, right?
You're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. So I mean, but I hold no hostility, and I mean that sincerely, and I really do think that when we get back overall to the other side, we'll be all like, yeah, everybody did their part. That's what was, you know, good job.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. It's like, you know, what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know a bunch of the stuff that you just said, but you know, it's like, I think that most people don't understand that. Like that's why they feel an allegiance to go to their parents' house or their family's house, even when they feel lousy about it. But that is an important thing to bring up, you know, for people that feel that way, you know.
Exactly, and I do every year. Every year I have this discussion on one level or another, saying, don't keep and it's worse because then you're dragging your kids to the damn thing, and you're teaching the kids that they should subject themselves to such things just because it's family. Right? You're only teaching every generation to keep doing it, and it's not right, because the least that you should be able to respect within your family, the people that are the damn closest to you, is to have a safe place to be with them.
Right.
Right? To not be emotionally or verbally abused, or even worse. Right?
Right. Yeah.
And so if you're not getting that, you're being dishonest to everybody by going out of this sense of obligation. And if you're bringing kids, then you're teaching the children that that there are certain people in their lives that they need to allow to abuse them. And that is the wrong message to give anybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You're right. You're right. Yeah.
So I say to people, don't drag your kids to unhealthy holiday happenings. You start your own way and make a smaller, but at least one that will be happy that somebody's not always every year that guy gets drunk and starts cursing and picks a fight with the brother or the cousin or the uncle, whatever, right? It's like, don't keep stop. And go have a happy time with even just the four of you or however many of you that there are. There's a no abuse. Do not abuse your family. Simple.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah. I hear you.
I mean,
I hear you.
We have to have a discussion like that. Like, we can't even get along inside of a freaking family and how we want world peace.
I know. No kidding. No kidding.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Like, practice it at home, everybody. And if every single person practices that at home, world peace just happens just by osmosis. You know?
Right.
Everybody do it in your own house. And if everybody's busy caring and loving everybody around them and not wanting to hurt anybody's feelings or physical body, then there we are. We have a peaceful world now, you know? Like, it's ridiculous. We expect countries to get along, and we can't even get our own freaking families together to get along.
Okay. Right. Yeah, it's true. True.
You know? A sister-in-law that's always so disapproving of everybody, or a daughter-in-law, or that son-in-law that's a deadbeat loser that don't get a good job, or that, you know, there's always somebody that's, you know.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah.
So sad. So sad.
It is.
And so the families that enjoy a happy, healthy time together, congratulations. You're doing a great job, and keep it up, and really don't take for granted how lucky you are that you have that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? So, anyway. So I think our Amy fell asleep on us, and so we're and the end of the show's here. So hopefully everybody comes as scheduled this week, and we'll have a full week except for Thursday. And just stay tuned to the Facebook page, guys, and if something happens, I'll always post it there. Amy, if you are here and listening, thanks for coming. And thanks for jumping on, Corinne and CJ or Christy. Thank you for jumping in. Everybody, take care, and we'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.